Hello, everyone. Today is February 24th, 2022. This is the Kubernetes storage SIG meeting. So today we will go through the 1.24 planning spreadsheet. And then I think we do have an issue here. We will talk about it at the end. And also there is this opt-in 1.24 feature block tracking spreadsheet. If you are working on a feature, you want to write a blog and that's not added already, please ping one of the 6 storage leads to get added there. And the next deadline is, so March 24th, this is the feature block opt-in freeze. And then March 30th, that's the code freeze deadline. Okay, so let's go through this. The first one is the CSI online offline resizing or expansion. Hey, Command, do you have an update on this?
I'm still working on it. I have made a lot of code changes, but basically I had this problem with read write menu that I'm trying to fix and working on it. Basically, I should have a PR by hopefully maybe tomorrow or next week's. It's pretty close, but oh geez.
Okay, thanks. This next one is another update, or is this together with the first, the recovery from resize failure?
Yeah, that one is I'm still working on it. The same update.
Okay, thank you. And the next one is an issue related to assuming volumes are mount points. This is a bug fix. Let's see, is Chang here? Not seeing her here. Okay, so still no update. And next one thing is related, determining on points without relying to proc mounts. Yang, do you know anything about this? So the PR will be okay. Is Yang here? Okay, looks like Yang is not here today. Okay, so don't have an update on this.
He just joined. Yeah, just joined.
Hello?
Hello, I just joined, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so is there this one? I think you have been reviewing, right? Determine mount points without relying on proc mount. I remember there was the
if I remember,
PR
this has been
merge.
merged to Mobi.
Okay.
And somebody should render it into Kubernetes.
Oh, okay, so need a...
I'm not sure if there is a PR or not. I wasn't tagged on one yesterday. If there is one today, I missed it.
Oh, okay. So maybe you will find, okay, so maybe you'll find out soon. All right. And oh, next one is the storage capacity tracking. So I wondered if is Michelle on the call? I wonder if you want to talk about
I'm
this
here.
now, oh, okay. Do you want to talk about this now, or do you want to talk about this later? So the storage capacity tracking, we can probably talk about it now since you joined this. Right, so Patrick added this issue. Basically, we did not track this in the beginning because we thought we're not going to work on this in this release, but then this feature was already beta for 1 year, so automatically there's a deprecation warning added to the API itself. So Jordan noticed us about this one. So basically this one, we either have to go to GA V1 or we have to move to V1 beta 2. So Patrick has this, I think he sent out an email to the mailing list as well, and this is also here. Talk about this. There are a few issues. Yeah, Patrick, why don't you go ahead, talk about
Current
this?
status indeed was that we wanted to wait a bit longer and basically skip this development cycle because there was one open question around what to do with the autoscaler, and then of course there was this whole questionnaire or trying to gather feedback from
your volume suddenly become very low. Is it just me?
that is turning down the volume. I don't know why it does. Wait a second, I think I can fix it. Okay, so I disabled that particular Zoom intelligence thing. Now, is it okay now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I wanted to clarify this thing with autoscaler first, and that took longer than expected because mostly the autoscaler folks were not necessarily unresponsive, but we did go through a proposal that I had, and the status was that we kind of agreed that it works, but it is complex. But that's mostly because the problem itself is complex. Of the different players here, CSI driver, autoscaler, cluster provider, none of those components have all the necessary information to predict how much storage will be available in a future node, assuming that a node gets created. That's the underlying problem. My proposal is that the cluster administrator needs to provide that information by creating some manual and owned by the cluster administrator CSI storage capacity objects. And that approach works. That's basically what I've implemented in my PR. I also implemented the necessary code for autoscaler, but we really got stuck on this question of, can it be done in any simpler way? And I don't think it can be made simpler, but that's where we are. So now, given that Jordan wanted us to do something, and we have to do something in this cycle, I went back to the cluster autoscaler folks and asked about this PR again. And the first thing that I was told is that we shouldn't wait for them. If we think that the feature is used and useful without autoscaler, we could go ahead and make it GA. Autoscaler is an out-of-tree component, and they don't want to block in-tree features. The next question then is the feature really used, and is it useful? Do we expect changes to the in-tree API? That's where the Slack thread comes in that I started last week, and then also the mailing, the list that I sent to the SIG storage Google group, trying to figure out whether this feature is used. I think it is used. I got a few bug reports over the last few months. The latest actually this week from someone from Red Hat who has tried it with his CSI driver. It worked for the developer, and then the QA folks ran it with an unusual node setup, a cluster setup where the node name were longer than expected. So that is one open issue against the external provisioner. The fix will be easy, but it does show that the feature is used. And this person also replied on the SIG storage group saying that, yeah, it worked for him and it seems to be okay. So yeah, it's not as much feedback as we would have hoped to get from people, but that's partly also because people have been not reacting to pings. I'm fairly sure that Topo LVM developers, for example, are using it, but they didn't reply on Slack, although I pinged one of their developers explicitly. I know PMM CSI, the CSI driver that I work on, uses it without running into any issues. So personally, I think the feature is ready for GA. I don't expect any breaking changes or any API changes. In fact, in Kubernetes itself, and also the autoscaler thing will get resolved somehow. We will have the attention of the autoscaler reviewer who looked at it half a year ago or so. last time at least. Again, next week he's currently on vacation, and any kind of improvement, usability improvement, probably needs to be a complete new design, a separate cap essentially, or some out of tree design saying, yeah, if you want to use this, your cloud provider must do X, Y, Z. I expect that this will not affect the entry API as it exists right now. So that's where we are. It's now really a question. Do we have anyone on the call here who has an opinion whether they are using it and wants to chime in and support moving to GA, or are any concerns known about it? Because if we basically need a decision relatively soon, because regardless what we do, we need to ask for an exception to make changes in 125. Or no, 124, and that is either a question to do another beta or go to GA. My concern, perhaps I should add, that is that whatever we do, it means we need to change external provisioner. We could try to implement a hack where it works with both APIs, but that's fairly ugly, because we would need to add some shim layer that converts between the two API versions and different client Go versions. If we don't do that, we have a new major version that only works with 124, because it will depend on the new API that we introduce there. And obviously, if we do that, I would prefer to do it with a GA API.
So maybe a stupid question. If we wait another release, will we get more feedback?
No, I don't think. Well, it looks like there are now some CSI drivers, like the one that Red Hat, it was for KubeVirt something, that are now in development, are currently getting tested. Those might get more actual user feedback if we wait. But to be honest, I don't think we will get much more than what we got so far. It has been fairly quiet, and I think that's because it mostly just works.
Have we done the scale testing?
Yes. Yeah, that's what I did as part of the development, because we were unsure what the cluster load would be. That was all done as part of the alpha or beta development. It might have even been alpha. I don't remember when it was, but I did scale testing with SIG scalability, bringing up a cluster using a fake host path driver that didn't do anything locally except simulating capacity and then creating volumes, pods with volumes, and that worked. So everyone is undecided.
I mean, I would personally like to see some more feedback. One more release would really get us more. I think the main thing is now Kubernetes has changed their deprecation policy to say that stable APIs have to be basically supported forever. I think so. I think for us that really means we have to be very, very confident in the API.
Okay. That means asking for a V1 beta 2 exception, and then just, well, doing all the plumbing to introduce a new API group. That would be SIG. Yeah.
I mean, I'm personally also okay with a V1 API. I guess in the worst case, if we find out we need to change the API in the future, we can just add new fields or something to make it work.
It certainly would be easier. but then that would be the GA API, V1, and so on. I try to ask Jordan whether there is an alternative. Well, for doing a new API version that is exactly the same as the old one just doesn't make sense to me. From a technical perspective, the only reason really is to create artificial churn in the ecosystem, to remind people that V1 beta 1 is not what they should be using. I kind of get the motivation. It's just fairly inconvenient for everyone, for us as developers and for users. But yeah, these are the rules. We can't change those.
Yeah, we right now only have like 2 choices: either go V1 beta 1, V1 beta 2 with no changes, or just go GA. But then we still do not have enough feedback. So basically 2 choices right now. Unfortunately, we cannot just stay as is. But on the other hand, we actually still need to get an exception, right? Either way, we need to raise an exception request from the release team as well.
Do we know how much time we have before we need to make a final decision?
We have already long past the deadline, so we need to
okay.
let them know as soon as possible. That's why I'm hoping we can make a decision today, and then you can start the thread with them. Then they need to also evaluate. Even if we say, hey, we want to go GA, they may not agree, right? Because they will also look at this and see what are the risks. It's getting so late.
Well, for the release folks, it's well, yeah, it's not a big risk. It's really just
but they will look, but they will have a say.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, so it's not. I mean, of course we have to make a decision first, and then they will decide. They even like sometimes even when the SIG decides it's okay, they may still say no.
Yeah. So
I have seen that happen. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with this one, but I think the sooner the better. So Michelle, do we can we make a decision today? Do we need more time to think about this? But definitely need to bring this up with a SIG release as soon as
possible. I don't think more time will really get us more information. I would probably say let's start the exception to go GA, and we will need, as part of that, we also have to update the PRR and get a PRR review for GA.
Right.
And let's go with that. And if we get pushback about going to GA, then we can, drop down to beta at that time. But let's try for GA.
Okay.
Yeah,
I also like it better than the alternative, to be honest. And
Sorry, Jan, did you have something?
No, just I like this solution.
Yeah, it's awkward that because we have to make a change one way or the other. Otherwise, we have a deprecated version with no alternative, right? So, yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. Yeah, works for me. I'll get onto it as basically tomorrow, and I probably won't get to it today. It's a bit later, but
I think you should start the exception today, since we have already made the decision.
Okay. Well,
yeah, just to I'll let it late for you.
I don't want to put any no, it's just one email. I know. I'll do it.
Oh no, you can start on the Slack channel just to get some, so they can maybe ask you questions. So I mean, and then you can send the formal one through email.
Okay.
So you can start with at least so they can start thinking about this, right? I think they need to read through all the information.
Okay.
And understand, what's the consequence if they don't, because if they don't give us a like if they don't approve anything, then that means we will have this deprecated
when they need to talk with Jordan.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is they need to understand the consequences. But I don't know if this has happened to other APIs yet. So
I don't know.
This is the first time, then maybe it's new, right? So
yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So all right. So basically, we need to. In the future, I think we need to think more about it when we go into beta, I think. But I think this is the only in-tree beta API right now for us. Other than that, we have CRDs that are in beta, or just like a field in an existing GA API. So exception. All right, thank you. Moving on to the next, CSI ephemeral volume. So this, okay, we are going GA. So Jonathan.
Yeah, no updates today, and I still need to do some work on tests and documentation. So hopefully I'll be working on this over the next couple of weeks. So hopefully I'll have more to share next time.
Okay, thank you. But code is already there, right? You don't need it, just a test and.
Yeah, correct. And then there's one bug that I need to take a look at.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next one, volume group API. I have not got an update, but well, I will update it. Update before next meeting. Next one is CSI auto tree move iSCSI driver fit and finish. So is Humble on the call? Oh, I think I need to follow up. Looks like a note there. And next one is Samba safe CSI driver to GA. Do we have any update? Michelle, do you know anything about this? Was Andy working on this?
Oh, for the Samba driver?
Yeah.
I remember there was some, Julie came in to try to fix the build so that we could actually push the image to our registry. I think there was some failure though. I'm not sure if it got resolved.
Okay. Okay, so we can follow up with them later. Thank you. And next one is the PVC volume snapshot namespace transfer. Is Mustafa or Masaki here on the call? So I think Masaki said he will be working on this with Mustafa, but I have not heard about an update. Next one is CSI volume house additional metrics. So this one, there was a PR out. Review is in progress. So there are some review comments. I just replied, just so trying to getting this through. Next one is CSI volume house programmatic response. Just pinned Nick and see if he can start working on this. Just waiting for his response. Next one is the volume populator. Ben, do you have an update on this?
Yeah, I'm going to push the change to Kubernetes core repo today to change the feature gate, because that'll be a one-line change, and I'm going to also be pushing another PR to move the API, the out of tree API, to beta, so that we can get the beta release out, and then the metrics change is also in progress. So all of that should happen by the deadline.
Great, thank you. So the next one is Cozy. Sid, do you want to talk about this? Sid here? He was here earlier.
Yeah, I heard his voice. Are you on mute, Sid?
Did he drop? Oh, he was here earlier.
Doesn't seem to be in the list anymore.
Yeah,
Oh,
you must have
okay.
had technical difficulties or got interrupted.
Okay, maybe, okay, I'll ping him. I'll ping him and see if he can join. Okay, we'll go to the next. Change block tracking. Well, basically the COSI, I think we still need reviews, right? Or I think, Michelle, you reviewed it, and then Sid also updated. So probably just need another review.
Yeah, I think it's back on my plate to review again.
Okay. Thank you. Next one, change block tracking is a fun on call. I think we still have not got an update. I need to pin him and see if he has made any progress. Next one is runtime assisted mounting. Deep, do you want to give an update on this?
Yeah, so I'm working on the CRI enhancements that are needed, as was recommended by SIG node. That's pretty much the main update, and updating the cap with those.
Okay, thank you. Next one is the CSI Proxy for Windows, transition to privileged containers.
So the main update there is they're like there's a new contributor, Pradeep, who has been working on just like performance improvements overall, mainly switching some of the PowerShell calls to use Windows ioctls.
Okay, great, thank you. Next one is a node expansion secret. So looks like Humble is not on the call. I think I need to check with him. Next one is a Skew Linux related relabeling using mount options. Yang, do you want to give an update?
So yeah, I am working on it. The Linux part looks working. However, I got stuck with volume reconstruction because right now we reconstruct only volumes after Kubernetes restarted that need to be unmounted, and I need to change it to reconstruct all volumes to see how they are mounted. And that's actually a blocking point. So I'm reworking the reconstruction, but the rest looks kind of okay.
Okay.
And I have a PR somewhere that changes the reconstruction. If you are interested, let me know. I can send you a link.
Yeah, you can put the link somewhere in maybe in the doc, so people want to review it.
Okay. Yeah, I will put it there after the call probably.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so next two are done, and the CSI migration core bugs and issues. Do we have any update here, Michelle? Or
Jawai has one bug fix that's, I think, waiting on me to review related to the attach limit. And yeah, it's on my plate to review.
Okay. Thank you. And okay, then we have a few CSI migration. Vsphere, I think this is still the same, I think. I think the same status as before. Basically, we're trying to figure out the CSI windows and how that works how the in-tree support works. I just want to check if they are in parity with that CSI Windows support. And next one is CSI Migration Azure Disk. Is there any update on this? Michelle, are you aware of any update? This is just in progress.
I think the Andy has PRs open for both of them. I merged the Azure file one. I think for Azure Disk, I still need to go and double check that like we're running all of the tests that we documented that is needed for GA.
Okay. And what about this next one?
Yeah, so Azure file that has merged.
Oh, that's merged.
I
Okay,
think we can consider that one done.
Does this also need like a doc update?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Just to document the feature gate.
Okay, thanks.
So Xing, I was able to reach Sid online. He's experiencing a power outage, and he believes he'll be able to join in like 10 minutes because he's in his car driving to a new location that has power.
Okay.
10 minutes.
All right. Okay, next, thanks for the update. Next one is a GCE. Oh, this one I think we delayed. So I think, yeah, delayed. So I think we probably don't need an update on this since this is delayed. And the next one is also delayed. AWS is also delayed to 25. So, and next one is the CSI Migration OpenStack. Oh, I think I'll pin him. Talk. And okay, Seth RBD and Seth FS, those are all humbles. Does anyone know any update on this? Otherwise, we need to ping him. No. And next one is CSI Migration Portworx. Is Tira here? Does anyone know any update? Michelle, do you know anything about this?
I haven't seen anything since the cap freeze.
Okay. So no update. Thanks. Next one is always on a reclaim policy. Is Deepak here? Okay, I think he is working on PR. Should be out soon. The next one is a control volume mode conversion between source and target. So so Ronald is also working on it. There is already a work in progress PR out. And the next two, I think the secret production and in-use production, those are, so Masaki, I think he's not on the call. I believe he hasn't made progress, so it's for stay in design. And the next one is user ID ownership in config maps and secrets. So is this one that we're not sure? Okay, yeah, this is the one that we have a question mark last time. We don't know. if the author is still working on it. So Herman, is this still the same? Just we're not sure. Just need someone to own it.
Yeah, still the same. Yep.
Same. Okay, just to copy this. Thanks. Next one is non-graceful no shutdown. So Ashutosh is working on the PR, is testing it, so it should be out soon. We'll submit it very soon. And next one is PV secret device. Oh, this one I think we are not working on it in this release. So stay alpha. And next one is voting expansion for stateful set. Is Shalini on the call by any chance? So I think she is busy. So I have not got an update from her yet. Okay.
It may be worth verifying if she'll have time to work on this, because there's a lot of demand for this feature.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'll ping her.
Thank you.
Next one is content notifier for application snapshot. So this one is still, we still need to get the issue resolved with SIG node. And also there are some comments from the API reviewers, so it's still not resolved yet. So stay in design for this release. That's all we have on the spreadsheet. Is Sid back here? Is he still driving?
I do not see him.
Okay.
He said that at 12:34. So give him 2 more minutes. He might turn up if his
okay.
That's correct.
Okay. So yeah. So we already talked about this issue. So basically, Patrick will submit exception request for GA. So we'll start that and see how that goes. And other than that, I think we don't have any other issues. So are there anything else that folks want to talk about here? So this one, I just want to show you this. Right? So this is the spreadsheet that has all the feature blocks that we opt in. So we have quite a few from the SIG storage side. So if you are working on a feature, you want to write a blog, but it's not here, you can pin one of the SIG storage lead to get added here. Yeah, so I think we don't have anything, I mean, other than we want to wait for Sid. So maybe if you are interested in hearing an update from Cozy, you can stay here. And Michelle, can you please stay just for a couple more minutes for Sid to join?
I can quickly point out something that I found was interesting.
Okay, sure.
So there's this SIG instrumentation work that's happening to instrument the kubelet for tracing, basically open telemetry tracing.
Okay.
And it seems right now it's mainly targeting the tracing around like kubelet talking to the CRI runtime. And so in the KEP, I pointed out that that's the same framework can potentially be extended to CSI plugins as well.
Where is that in your KEP, or is this some?
Yeah, this is the KEP 2831. It's not my
the runtime, the runtime one. Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, this one. Okay. This cap?
No. Sorry. It's an independent cap. It's
Oh.
2831. I don't think we are tracking it in our sheet. So I just wanted to point out that
831. Okay.
Can be potentially interesting.
Okay. Cap and tracing.
Yeah, kubelet tracing.
So, okay, so potentially we can also do that for the volumes that are used by.
Exactly, like
us?
all
Okay.
the CSI node calls can probably be traced with the same infrastructure that's being put in.
Okay. All right.
So just a heads up that's coming in, and I don't think they're tracking CSI right now, but something we can potentially look into.
Okay.
Does the tracing logs the time for individual CRI calls?
Yeah, I think it's just basically tracing like a context and like what is the actual call that was made. Right now, that's the focus.
We already trace, like not trace exactly, but we do log the calls, like the metric, via metric, to the operations that we call for on a CSI driver. But trace may be useful in the sense that when a action was triggered and
Exactly.
when it ended, that sort of thing. Yeah.
And it allows for sampling and all these kind of other open telemetry goodness.
Oh, this is already merged. So this is going to be in 1.24 then?
Yeah, it's. I think Sally has a PR open that's tracking this.
Okay. Thanks for putting this out.
Yeah.
Okay, so not sure if it's a. Oh, this is another. Oh, okay. You're saying this is already okay. They already.
Yeah.
But this is already. Oh, okay.
This
So
is
we
the
just started
implementation.
implementation. Okay, I see.
So I was just curious, since we were on this topic, are there folks who are interested in tracing for CSI plugins, or like is there a need for it?
I think it will be interesting just to need to look at and see what we need to do to get it supported. Okay, let's see. I'll just add this one here. And the cap. Okay, are there anything else that folks want to discuss in today's meeting? Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I'm
I
not
don't
sure
think
well.
Sid is going to turn up, but maybe is Michelle able to join the next meeting?
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Michelle.
I have a conflicting meeting at 10.
I
Oh,
see.
okay. Yeah, I think basically Sid is just want to,
Yeah,
basically,
it's on.
uh,
I know it's on my plate. I know, I'm really sorry. But yeah, I will try to get to it soon. I think last time I reviewed it, I think there were a lot of comments that still weren't addressed. So I asked him to make sure to run through all the comments and make sure they're resolved.
okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, so we can let him know. Yeah, so I think, let's see, is there anything? Okay, yeah. I think then that's it for today. I don't want to keep everyone here. I'm not sure where Sid is, but I think he's, we have already passed his message. Basically, he just like to get the cab merged, in 1.24 time frame. So, okay. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Xing.
Chang, 124. What 124 looks big for y'all.
Yeah. So let me actually, I can stop the.
I had to take my